Let me explain to you why you don't understand this Luka Doncic trade. A lot of people see this trade and they see it on face value. They see how good Luka could be. They see how good Anthony Davis is. And they say, wow, this trade doesn't make any sense based on the assets acquired from the Mavs, based on whatever. It's a win for the Lakers. Luka is 25? Been in the league since 2018. And let's say Luka goes on and has one of the best NBA careers of all time. People will just go back on this trade and harp on it and say, what a stupid, stupid trade. But here's what people miss. And this is strictly from a business standpoint, is that the Mavs have had Luka since 2018. It's 2025 right now. They have enough internal data, anecdotes, opinions, and information to decide whether or not they think Luka will be successful. Here's the keyword, with the Mavericks. This doesn't mean Luka won't be successful elsewhere. It just means whether or not he will be successful with the Mavericks. And the Mavericks have determined that he won't be. It's that simple. He might be a great player elsewhere, but for whatever reason and for whatever destination the Mavericks are going, they feel like Luka isn't a good fit. It's that simple. It's a bet that he would probably fail with the Mavericks to win a championship. That doesn't mean he won't win a championship. It doesn't mean he's not very good. So both people can be right in this situation. The Lakers can be correct in saying this is great for us. The Mavericks can be correct in saying we have a better probability winning over the next 4 years, 3 years, 2 years, 1 year, 10 years with this trade for Anthony Davis than we do with Luka. And unless you know that internal decision making, you just don't understand the trade. And that's what people don't think. They don't think the third layer of this. They think of the first layer, people on the surface. They think of the second layer, the contracts. But if the Mavericks are willing to trade Luka Doncic, I think that in of itself tells you that he probably wasn't going to succeed with the Mavericks. Now, is that an organizational issue? Is that just right piece, wrong time issue? Is it whatever? I don't know, right? I'm not here to speculate nor discuss that. I'm simply trying to provide you with the understanding that we're talking about assets and classes of assets. You can sell a house and use that money to make more money. But when you sell that house, you sold it to a contractor who knows how to build houses really well. And they fix that house up and it becomes the best house ever. But in your hands, it would never become the best house ever because it's just not a tool that you know how to wield. And maybe that is simply the case. It is simply the case that in the setting that he is in, he was not going to be a part that allowed them to win or be the best team they could possibly be. It doesn't mean he won't be great. It doesn't mean he isn't great. So all of the reaction to this is reaction for the sake of reaction without the sake of understanding. And yes, that was my knee-jerk reaction to, like, what was this trade? And you could argue assets acquired is the biggest confusing point here, where it's like, why didn't you get more first-round picks for Luka? Why didn't you get more people? And maybe, the Lakers just wouldn't give it up, and the Mavericks determined that Anthony Davis was that important, and maybe they have something statistically. But I'll leave you with this kind of story. You probably heard before. It's the Chinese farmer story, right? The Chinese farmer has a son. And he also owns a bunch of horses. One day the horse leaves, and the horse The whole town people go, oh my gosh, so sad, to the farmer. And he says, we'll see. And then the horse comes back the next day and returns with 10 wild horses. And everyone comes to the farmer and says, oh, what great fortune. And the farmer says, we'll see. Then the farmer's son tries to ride one of these untamed horses and gets hurt. And everyone comes to the farmer and says, oh, what unfortunate luck. And the farmer says, we'll see. Then one day the military comes in to conscript local healthy young men. And because the farmer's son is hurt, he does not go to war. And the townsfolk say, oh, what great fortune. And the farmer says, we'll see. When it comes to this trade, we'll see.